Hi everyone, my name is Rosmarina Anak Dulah with matrix number 67591. In this Islamic economics course, I will presenting about the challenges of Maqasid al-Shari'ah towards Islamic bankings and financial. Maqasid means objectives or intent that aim for creating harmony with others which relates to welfare, benefit or interest. The main objectives of Maqasid is to make sure the public good, which is maslahah, is preserved in a whole relation to the consequences of the intention and actions of the individual. This considered as the wisdom and knowledge in governing the rules. Islamic banking system have existed 30 years ago and has developed throughout the world since then. The first commercials of Islamic banking started at Dubai Islamic Bank, where this has become the starter of Islamic banking developed at greater pace. However, after the 30 years of inception, there are a lot of major questions regarding these Islamic banks and Islamic financial institutes, and became a debate such as riba, gharar, and ethical investments. There are also practices such as buy al-ina, buy bitaman adil, and other contracts that been criticized to be unofficial to riba. The first challenges or issues that we will focus on is the understanding of implications of Maqasid al-Shari'ah. In this section, we will focus on the applications of the Sharia respected to the Maqasid al-Shari'ah and maslahah in Islamic financing and banking. And one of the biggest challenges of Islamic banking and finance is to produce a product or services that adapted Sharia from the Islamic point of view without being competitive, profitable, and viable in the long run. So we must consider what basis in justifying whether a product is based on the Sharia or not. This issue of fiqh has been against by the school itself. Some of them point out the legal form, and they are also stressed on the intention of contracting parties. The validity of all contracts must be determined by the niyah, which known as intentions according to the hadith. However, there are scholars such as Imam Shafi'i found out the validity of the contracts is hard to practice, where this is impossible to identify the intention of the contractors. Scholars also have differentiated two types of hukm, which is mean ruling, which are hukm qada'i and hukm diyani, to make up between two conflict texts. The main concern of these contracts is related to the Sharia conditions and requirements that regards the contract in its form, and the others concerns about the reason of contracts which must be like or must be the same as the Sharia. Hence, all the transaction will become halal if serves the legal purpose, and sahih when the contracts reach all the conditions and requirements. That was the next issues that we will focus on is the bay'inah concepts, which known as the buyback sell in Islamic financial. This concept is one of the controversy products that widely practiced in Malaysia. Most of the applications in Islamic banking needs to act as a trader selling, but the fact is the Islamic banking seldom act as the financier who's produce any products without any risk. So, bay'inah has been claimed as a legal device to avoid any riba-based activities in the Islamic financing. However, the legal form is not enough certify and explain the contract, even though this may be perceived the other validity. So as an example, the clients need 200,000 ringgit financing from the bank, where from these situations, the bank will do a sell by creating and purchase the contract, which give benefits such as profit to the bank after they give the loan to the clients. Hence, through the method of bay'inah, the bank will sell an asset to the clients with 350,000 as a deferred payment. The client can sell back their assets to the bank 200,000 ringgit again at the bank in cash during the second contract. So this resulting that the client will receive the amount of cash they wanted along with the agreements between both parties, which is between the banks and between end clients, which the client need to do the deferred payment within the duration that they have agreed on. As we realize that the concept of bay'inah is bring controversy towards Islamic banking and financing, a suggestion towards the school of Shafi'i need to go through this contract and observe properly. Every controversy mostly happen due to the human being. Thus, every banks need to improve their bank personnel based on Sharia knowledge, especially Islamic home financing and Islamic personal financing. Even though Bainah contracts have been criticized by some of the scholars around the world, these contracts still applied in the financing institutions. This contract cannot be left out, and by that full considerations on this contract with evading the manners that is not stable under the Sharia. Bainah have two types of contract, known as PSA, which must be agreed on the first and then proceed with the second contract's PPA. Even though there are more controversial aspects, it cannot tarnish the contract from their true forms, as the Sharia adjusts from an external. Those who will practice this contract should be aware at the order manner and the concept of akad should be learned by everyone who practice it. That's all from me. Thank you.